I worked nights at a self-storage facility just off the highway. Nothing special. Climate-controlled units, security cameras, keypad entry. The kind of place people forget exists unless they need it. This isn't a ghost story I heard online. This is something that happened to me, and I didn't understand it until months later. Night shifts were quiet, too quiet sometimes. Most of the job was watching camera feeds and responding to motion alerts, usually rats, sometimes loose doors. At 2:40 a.m., a motion sensor tripped in Building C. That wasn't unusual. What was unusual was the camera feed. Unit C17's light was on. Lights only turn on when someone is inside. But the access log showed no gate entry, no keypad code, no swipe. I assumed it was a glitch. I grabbed my keys and walked over. The metal door to C17 was halfway open. I didn't raise it. I just stood there and said, "Hello?" A man's voice answered from inside. "Yeah. Sorry, I'm almost done." Nothing strange about it. Calm, polite, a little out of breath, like he'd been moving boxes. I told him he needed to sign in at the office. He apologized again and said he'd be out in a minute. So I stepped aside to let him pass. That's when I noticed something that still makes my stomach tighten. The light inside the unit wasn't casting shadows. The storage units are cramped. Boxes, furniture, random junk, shadows everywhere. This light was flat, like it was shining into an empty room. I raised the door the rest of the way. Unit C17 was empty, no boxes, no furniture, no signs it had ever been rented. Just bare concrete, and dust so undisturbed I could see my footprints when I stepped inside. Behind me, the door rolled shut. I spun around and grabbed the handle. It wouldn't move. The motor wasn't running. It was like the door suddenly weighed 1,000 pounds. Then the light turned off. Silence. Then, a very close whisper. A voice in my right ear. I said I was almost done. I don't remember screaming. I don't remember hitting the door. I remember being outside the unit, on my knees, the door wide open, my radio crackling like it had shorted out. Later, security reviewed the footage. The camera never recorded anyone entering Unit C17, but it did record me standing at the open door, talking, nodding, stepping aside, like I was letting someone walk past me. I quit the next day. A month later, the company sealed Building C after repeated motion alerts. When they reviewed old records, they found something buried in the files. Unit C17 had been rented once before, for 6 days. The renter never exited the property. The unit had been found empty, except for fingerprints on the inside of the door, all of them facing outward. Sometimes I still wonder, if I hadn't stepped aside, would it still be in there?